Consistently bad is consistently bad, meaning if you're not getting the results that you want as a small content creator and you're doing the same things over and over again, of course, you're not going to see anything change because doing things the same time and the same cadence every week is comfortable but ineffective. And so we all hear the advice that you have to be consistent when you publish on YouTube or your podcast or any other type of content creation, but it can really limit you because what we need is sustainable growth. We need to be able to consistently make improvements that lead to exponential growth in our creative career. So how do we use consistency to grow as small creators? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. We'll answer that particular question. We'll talk about a new mindset that every creator needs in order to grow and to be consistently inconsistent. And I'll show you of an example of this mind shift in action. So stay tuned till the end. Welcome to Creators That Crush, the podcast that helps creators move from crushed to crushing it. I am your host and certified high performance coach, Shawn Buttner. So let's do a quick story about steady A-OK results. Now, back in 2015, I think is when I started my YouTube channel. And I took the advice that every creator got, and that is just show up consistently, keep producing, you'll figure it out as you go along, you'll figure out how to do improvement. And so those early days for me were getting comfortable in front of the camera, figuring out what I wanted to talk about, how I wanted to lay out things, trying to figure out my audience. So there's a lot of things happening at the same time and a lot of learning that happened. But up until about 2023, I really wasn't getting any views every week when I published on YouTube. And then I started to do something different, and I'll get into that in a bit. But my results were flat. I was doing the same thing. I was showing up every week like clockwork to create and release something out in the world because that's what my mentors and everyone else is saying, and no results. And so this is actually when consistency becomes the problem, right? The story since 2015 for me was flat views on my YouTube channel. So, probably waiting too long, I got sick of getting zero results, and YouTube started to do shorts, and I noticed some weird increases in my viewership, but it wasn't people that were actually helping my coaching business. And so I stopped doing shorts and then started trying a bunch of new things and really trying to grow my YouTube audience, which has been a little bit slower than I thought, but all of these changes are starting to gain momentum today. So here's the takeaway, right? You can't build a house with only a hammer. And what I mean by this is if consistency is your only tool for building your creative career, you're going to run into issues like I just showed you, right? Or that I just explained. That, showing up consistently and getting consistently no results is going to lead you to failure. Eventually, you'll quit. You'll have so much frustration. You'll start flipping tables, that type of stuff. But we need to become consistently inconsistent to get our results. That means you have to switch it up. When I tried shorts, there's a huge jump in views and audience in my YouTube channel. When I stopped doing that and started tweaking thumbnails and paying more attention to thumbnails and titles and copying things that were successful with other creators, I started to see a little bit of growth in my audience and YouTube. And this is so important in today's world because it's so easy to create with AI tools. And you're going to have to try some of those tools to see what works. We're going to have to probably shift how we create. The reason why I make sure that my face is on camera now is so that you know that I'm not a robot, right? So I am not a robot. And that in a way, hopefully allows you to be like, okay, I like what this guy says. I feel like there's a connection here. There's some synergy. Maybe I want to listen to what he has to say. The mindset shift here of becoming consistently inconsistent to get results is that you need to be trying and tweaking things and learning in order to progress. It's not good enough to just show up consistently because, like we said at the top of this episode, not every problem needs a hammer to solve. So we need to think about how are we adding these inconsistencies, this room for mistakes and learning to exist in order to find those breakthrough moments or those compounding 1% gains that add up over time. What does consistently inconsistent look like in action? The 5 things for me this month in May, as I record this episode, is first and foremost, 1, the no lurker rule for social media. So I've been working with the podcast coach, and part of the homework that I've really struggled with and I've really come up with a limiting belief on has been distrust that I have for almost all social media. I remember, I think Purdue, where I went to school, was like the 6th school to get access to Facebook. We still had to have a .edu address to get on. At some point, it changed from that into I've been really trying to think of the moment where I started to just inherently distrust anything online as either being a bot or someone trying to get money out of me or someone trying to scam me out of something. And I think we've all had that moment where we're like, okay, I can't trust anything that is coming to me on Facebook or Instagram or pick your social media platform. So I developed this habit of lurking. Like I might find a great piece of content and I'd be like, oh, that really got me to think about something or helped me change something. But I wouldn't comment on it. I wouldn't share it. I wouldn't do anything. I just would observe it and witness it and then quietly go back to my apartment and go about my day, or go back to work and go about my day. So for me, being consistently consistent this month is implementing the no lurker rule. So I'm not going to lurk on social media anymore. When I see a helpful piece of content from a fellow creator, big or small, that has helped or helps me in my career, I'm going to comment on it and let them know that as a way to break this social media distrust. It's really fun when you get to talk to real people online that share the thing that you're interested in. And for me, it's helping creators and small creators level up so that they can spread their good content across the world. Second thing I'm going to do this month to be consistently inconsistent is I'm going to start releasing guest episodes on Tuesday. And let me tell you why this is very different for me. It's not that I haven't had a podcast that had guests on it before, but this is since I rebranded the show, I've had 2 conversations with guests. One that is coming out next week. I was hoping it was going to be out this week and it didn't work out because I hired an outside group to help me with the editing. So I'm really excited to be working and testing out this new service where it's kind of done for you editing. I'm really excited to start highlighting creators that are crushing it out in the world and people I admire or think are doing really great things. And so that's going to be different for the channel, and it's not going to interrupt my normal flow of solo episodes each week. So episodes like this, which if you're watching on YouTube, has a slideshow to it. So I'm trying very carefully to describe things and not say, just look at the graph or whatnot. But that's going to be different. So there's going to be 5 episodes released every month-ish, assuming that there's, 4 weeks in each month or 4 Thursdays in each month, plus a guest episode on a Tuesday sometime during there, highlighting a guest. So I'm really excited to see how that changes my YouTube channel and my podcast growth. The third thing that I'm going to be continually tweaking with this month is messing around with my YouTube video production for my solo episodes. This means playing around with formats, with the structure of the episodes a little bit, with how I'm presenting it via slides, and ironing that out a bit more, because part of the consistency problem is that I had just done talking head videos for a while, and without a little bit of fancy editing, I think they get boring. I know I was getting bored with them, so if I'm feeling bored with it, I'm sure you all are feeling bored with it too. But this is just something I'm going to continue doing. The fourth thing this month that I'm going to be very inconsistent with consistently, it's changing thumbnails. So here are, in the last month, 4 different thumbnail designs, if you're watching on YouTube, that I've tried. So some are more colorful, some are a little bit quieter. And it's just continually trying to refine this skill. 3 of the 4 thumbnails I'm showing on the YouTube video are me looking to the side, and it's kind of weirding me out, but what can you do? The 5th thing that I'm going to be continue doing in my business as a creator is working on SEO each episode that I release this month. Not sponsored by this app, but I'm using VidQ. I think I'm just doing the free trial, but I'm going to be researching the keywords and incorporating that into the description and title and whatnot to see if that helps get my videos more attention and traction going forward. This is how I plan to be consistently inconsistent this month. This is applying this mindset of we need to consistently be growing and trying new things and learning. How about you? If you would, comment below what things that you're going to try on your channel or in your creative career in May this month, and we'll cheer you on. I'd love to see what y'all are doing and give you some encouragement if I can. Do you need help getting consistently inconsistent? Well, maybe you need a little bit more of a one-on-one type conversation to help you break through what's ever holding you back in your creative career. So along those lines, I had a free 30-minute creative strategy session where I apply the certified high performance coaching process to a problem that you have in your business. It could be imposter syndrome. It could be perfectionism. It could be time management. It could be you feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions at once. So it could be a time management thing, a priority thing, I just don't feel the joy in this anymore type thing. And through this process, we'll give you your next steps. We'll co-create them together on what you can do to advance your creative career. So just go to ShawnButtner.com and you'll see a button for the free 30-minute strategy session. This is me also gathering data for this coaching process to see if there's any nuances or angles that are really particularly helpful for content creators. So that's the whole goal for it. Deliver immense value, help you break through what's ever holding you back in your creative career. I get some data, and there's not even any selling, right? Like, this is a fact-finding mission for me to help me hone in the high-performance coaching for creators. That's it for this week's episode of Creators That Crush. Again, if you need help getting consistently consistent, check the link in the show notes or go to ShawnButtner.com and hit the button to sign up for that free 30-minute strategy session for creators. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. If you loved this episode of Creators That Crush, you're going to love this episode over here where we talk about overcoming imposter syndrome. Now, everyone has imposter syndrome, and it's really a sign that you care about your work. And Creators That Crush are able to take those feelings of feeling like an imposter and put it into delivering great work. And we talk about how to do that in this video. So make sure you check that out over here, and we'll see you there. Take care, guys.